right, great. Here's my town administrator's report for May 12th, 2026. June's coffee hour will be on the patio, so we're hoping it doesn't rain. June 16th at 10 a.m. Plenty of time to talk about everything that happened at town meeting. And I won't predict, but I'm hoping there's a lot of positive outcomes. This week, or last week, my coffee hour was filled with passion. It was the most passionate TA coffee hour I've had. Discussions were about ferns, road maintenance, conservation issues, and support for volunteer boards.
Excuse me, Ryan, I think because there are people there, can you put your report up there? Sorry.
I don't usually, but I can.
Oh, haven't you usually?
No.
People have to pay
So they're
attention.
just hearing it.
It's
Okay,
a way of keeping them awake at 10 o'clock.
okay, all right, no problem.
For human resource report from Aubrey, we reached out to 2 additional candidates and interviewed them today, actually, for the COHS van driver, which is an important position in town, and we are interviewing candidates for the open DPW position. That position has not been filled to try to overcome some of the snow and ice deficit that we faced this year, so we're trying to fill that this summer. We also had a benefits fair for town employees that we held at Town Hall and asked town employees to make sure they're educated on their process. This is part of our educating employees and making sure they're complying with your policies. For department updates and information, reminder, the Memorial Day ceremonies, all are invited, including this board, to Carlisle's Memorial Day ceremonies hosted by Scott Evans and the Veterans and Celebrations Committee. This will be Monday, May 25th. It starts at 9:30 on the town common. Then you march to the Corey Auditorium for a brief but meaningful ceremony. And then the parade goes through Green Cemetery, honors some fallen veterans, and then to the town's veteran memorials. Always great. I would definitely be going if I wasn't going to be at Fort Drum. Important for you to note as a select board, we are proposing changing our managed service provider. This is our IT provider. After a lengthy and thorough evaluation process, we would like to transition. Thanks to Gretchen's extensive research, procurement, and vetting process, we also included some local volunteers and some professionals from the community. We believe it's in the best interest to enter a new contract with a new vendor, and we will do so unless any of you signal to us that we should not. Some additional details. We don't want to give the full transition details for cybersecurity purposes, so assuming that I'm not getting any red lights from the board here, we will start that process and then communicate after to include bringing the new provider here to meet you and talk about their processes. We've implemented a...
We can decide later.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about that more?
No, I think the question was, do they need to come in and present to us?
That was what I wanted to
I
talk
don't
about.
know.
Whether you just kind of have the authority would be my
Yes,
viewpoint on that.
he has the authority.
I agree. He has the authority. I
Right.
don't feel a need. I know you're trying to keep us educated and informed and so forth, but,
Okay.
And
so,
I've already expressed that opinion.
have you expressed, well, then we should talk about it, because then he doesn't have to, the board.
Well, he was gonna do it and
Oh,
then bring them
he
in to
wants
meet
to.
us after the
After.
fact.
So a lot of you have questions about cybersecurity, et cetera, and
So
we
they
definitely
would-
want to educate the new board members.
Okay.
So he would make the change and then they would come in at some
Oh,
day
okay.
and explain
all
the
right.
processes, because
Good.
there's a lot of public interest in cybersecurity.
Great.
All right, we implemented a new AI program called Prophecy AI. This is a guardrailed AI platform that is municipally focused. I will give you a demonstration about this in the future, but essentially we control the knowledge base and feed this system, and it allows us to answer questions. For example, if someone comes in and they say, about 20 years ago, we passed this law at town meeting. We can quickly search our own databases to find the answer to that question. We think it's gonna make staff really efficient. We've had a lot of training on it, and the staff is finding tons of ways to use this. It also is really good for drafting, so we're gonna have a lot more automated drafting and benchmarking.
Who's the software provider, do you know?
It's called Prophecy AI.
Okay.
They're municipally focused.
Okay, very good.
It's very interesting. We're testing it for a year, but we've already seen that it's gonna be helpful. There's an invasive plant workshop coming up. The ESC is planning on hosting a hands-on workshop Saturday, May 23rd, with a rain date of Sunday, May 24th. I bet they'll hold it anyway, though. They're pretty hardy. This is gonna be led by Maddie of Backyard Invasives to identify species and then talk about ways for people to do this in their own home, which is an important part of our planning and sustainability planning through the ESC. More information in my town administrator.
Why is the stuff you don't like so tenacious and the stuff you
Oh, I
like so
know.
delicate?
No natural enemies.
It's a really good question. I'm gonna ponder that tonight going home.
Christina, do you guys intend to hold this? This is Memorial Day weekend. Are you expecting a good turnout on a Memorial Day weekend?
I'm so sorry. Were you asking me? I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you guys knew that your invasive plant workshop is going to be in Memorial Day weekend. I don't know. I think I personally, my family's going away. I'd love to attend this, but I won't be able to make it. Just wanted to make sure you knew that as part of your planning.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was based on Maddie's availability, and a lot of her weekends are already booked up.
Got it. Okay. Carry on.
Yeah, thank you, though.
Sure.
Some capital project updates. The elevator project, which seems like years ago that we passed this, is going to begin right when the school year ends, so about a month from now. And then we're coordinating whether or not town hall or library is next. It really depends on where the library renovation project is, if approved. So still some variables left, but all of that should be done by the fall. The CAD implementation has been a significant project managed by your communications department. We're moving to the Mark 43 CAD RMS platform. There was a lot of coordination with, and there's a lot of names in here that I'm not going to read, but coordination with our IT provider. One of the issues we have with our current IT provider was some of that coordination, but we were able to figure it out. And training for this is going to begin in September with a full implementation in September.
So will the new provider have to inherit what the old provider started on this?
It's mostly done, what we have a handoff and a transition plan in place. Town Hall, we replaced our water heater. You remember it was closed last week. Stephen Canary did a great job downsizing the unit, which created more room, which reduced the need to expand the mechanical room, at least for now, which saved us some money on capital. So it was a good project overall, managed by the MFC and discussed publicly there. And then your road maintenance project is going to begin. This says it's going to go out to bid this week. That's not quite true. We're still waiting for the Audubon Lane part of this project, and that won't be available until the beginning of June, but then we'll get this out to bid and start paving in July and August, which is the same time frame as we did last year. For CPA projects, a couple notes for you. The Diamond Park study, this subcommittee is working through the Recreation Commission and Lula Architects to create the new toddler or a plan for the new toddler playground. We connected them with Niche to also make sure that this project's being coordinated with the Connected Carlisle Sidewalk program. And we think there might be some ways to mitigate some costs with CPA, making it ADA accessible and just making sure the project is well coordinated and timed. So that's going on right now. Cranberry Bog Dam number 1, which I feel like we have a new update for you every meeting. The emergency repairs are going forward with Sumco under their existing contract. However, it's looking more likely that a new dam design is going to be needed, and we're going to have to restart the design project. More to come on that, but I want to put that on your radar because it's going to be a big talking point in the coming year. For your building project updates, I recently toured the police station with the police chief and the deputy police chief, and viewed the inside. If you get a chance, you should take the tour. It's completely different. The front staircase is gone. The new community room is framed so you can see it, and all of the downstairs, the expansions of the locker rooms and the contained cells are all completely framed so you can actually see where the project's at. They started the foundation work for the Sally Port and other things. They're still dealing with some of the dirt issues and some of the water management, but we think tomorrow we'll have a good idea of whether or not that is all behind us and we can continue on. But that project is moving along, and now seems like the third or fourth project in things that we're considering. Fire station renovation, you received a great briefing on this tonight and have a plan moving forward for a $17.5 million ask at town meeting to start this project. If approved at the town meeting and at the ballot on June 2nd, this project could begin as soon as June, with a more likely date of right after July 4th. Construction would begin. The DPW renovation, your building committee narrowed its design firms down to 3, with HKA being the leading firm. And as I told you tonight, we're going to have that firm come in and talk to you about the project. If the design funding is approved, they'll have all of the goals and marching orders from you to start the design of the DPW. And the library renovation, favorable bids for the library renovation on all aspects to include the many MFC projects that's part of this, many capital projects. This looks like, assuming there's a positive vote at town meeting, this project will also begin in July with the renovation beginning to include moving the library to a temporary space so that it can remain open while this construction is being done. That decision is to support the speed of the construction, which limits the overall cost. Some upcoming discussions, budget and town meeting. I'm sure we'll be talking about that right up to the town meeting. Trust Fund Study Group's gonna have a report out for you, and you will receive your audit report out from CBIZ at your next meeting. A few approval requests and notifications. One, I do want to call out the Carlisle Poppy Project is seeking its annual approval for their display. I think that display is great. It's unique to Carlisle and honors World War I veterans and the sacrifices that were made. I do need you to approve these 3 requests: the Carlisle Poppy Project, the Garden Club for their plant sale on the town common, and the ESC using the land for the species.
And do we probably need to do them each separately, huh? Because they're specific dates.
Yes.
Okay. Move to approve the request of the Carlisle Poppy Project for use of the town common for their annual poppy display honoring military service members who died in the war.
Second. Any discussion, deliberation? Do a voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I move to approve the request of the Carlisle Garden Club for use of the town common on Friday, May 15th and Saturday, May 16th for their annual plant sale.
Second.
Any discussion or deliberation? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Cutting it close, those guys, huh?
I moved, yeah, I was just thinking that. I moved to approve the request of the Environmental Sustainability Committee for use of town land on May 23rd and 24th to host a hands-on invasive species identification and removal workshop around the Town Hall building and the Conant Land Trail, including the replacement of select species.
Second.
Any discussion or deliberation? Again, voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried.
Okay, quick dates of interest. I'm leaving Friday for my military training and coming back for town meeting and then going back. So I'm gonna be gone. Aubrey's gonna be your temporary town administrator. I'll be available by phone. If you don't mind the sound of artillery, we can talk by phone. I will have some time. And also, I just want to point out that the May 26th meeting is finally on the TA report after 3 attempts and failures. So I want credit for that. I intentionally didn't put any employee recognition in here because I did want to take a moment to thank Barney and David. I won't be at the next meeting. I'm sure people will have nice words for you. But David, there hasn't been a town official that has challenged me and had me grown as much as you have, and I mean that positively. You really invested time to help me understand Carlisle, to make me better. Some of the processes that I use now are a direct result of the way your mind works, and I think it's made me a better town administrator overall. So not only am I impressed with your service to the community, but I do appreciate everything you've done for me. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Barney and I talk a lot. We talk about different ways for me to handle human resource issues, different aspects of the town. She really invested a lot of time when I was trying to learn about Carlisle, and continues to this day. She copy edits all my stuff, which is really important because I make a lot of errors grammatically. So you have also made me a better town administrator. I think the town has benefited greatly from your minds, and I have benefited greatly from working with you. So I appreciate both of you. Good luck. And if you decide not to move or you decide to run again, it'd be great. I'd love to work with you again. But thank you for
People
everything
who
you've
want
done.
to take this spot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Great.
That's it. That's my report.